Hey, my name is Russ. That is Lauren, and welcome to our Thursday music discussion video. And this one kind of ties into a thing we do every Sunday, which is like vinyl reviews and audio stuff and whatnot. But I don't know, it just didn't seem to me like it would fit for like a Sunday video. So this is coming to you on Thursday. Also, I guess if you watch the channel just for vinyl content, then this will be a lesson to hit the notification bell.
Boom.
Yeah, and make sure that you get the other videos throughout the week. But if you go back to the very beginning of the channel, like 4 years ago, the first thing that you'll see is that I used to have an enormous vinyl collection, and over time, made it clear on the channel that I was selling the vinyl collection, moving away, and so on. And I even said in the video where I was like, "Hey, so I'm selling my collection." I was like, "Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna restart my collection eventually." And we've been, kind of upfront through that entire process, like, "Hey, here's what we're looking to do," and as we go. So as I've been rebuilding the collection, I've been learning a whole lot, and I've been able to teach you quite a bit about like when we're in record stores and stuff, like what to look for and that kind of stuff. But a lot of this for me is coming from like almost like things I wish I knew when I'd started collecting the first time now. And then some of it is also stuff that like couldn't have been before, that type of thing. So the first thing that I'm learning, and this is kind of self-imposed, but I don't need every single record by my favorite artists. I'm a completionist to a certain extent. Like there's artists that I genuinely love, like everything they've ever done. Right. There almost every single thing Prince has ever released, I like. Between the Jacksons, the Jackson 5 and Michael Jackson, there's not much that's been released by him that I don't like, but you take like one of my favorite artists of all time is Pink Floyd. So they have two records that I don't like. The comments section is not the place for this argument, so we'll take it up in another video. But the two albums by them that I don't like are their first one, The Piper at the Gates of Dawn, and A Momentary Lapse of Reason. And previously, not only did I own those two records, but I owned like bootlegs from both tours, and because it doesn't just stop there. You're not like, well, you're like, oh, well, I have all the Floyd's studio albums. Now I got to have the live albums. Now I got to have the hits packages. And like buying Pink Floyd hits packages is kind of a dumb thing in the first place, because if you have all the albums, you don't need the hits packages anyways. Right. Plus, most Pink Floyd works don't work well out of context, right? So if you take like songs from The Division Bell and jumble them up with songs from like Wish You Were Here and whatnot, so what I'm saying, there's no point in owning those records if you already own the others. So I've been trying to do that, and I've said to you too, like okay, Prince is another one. That dude released 40 some records while he was alive. There's not much that I don't like, but there's a lot of his whole records that I don't love the whole album. And what I found myself doing with Prince was initially it was like, okay, well, I'm going to get everything that was released while he was alive. And then of course they start releasing stuff after he passed away that was never released. But then they started releasing these like 9, 10, and 11 LP mega box sets for Sign of the Times, 1999, at least those two. I think Diamonds and Pearls has had one sets. And I bought all of those too, because I'm like, well, I love Sign of the Times, so I should have the 11 LP box set. Yeah. You know what I mean? And it's one of those things where it's like, there's not enough time to ever listen to all this stuff regularly. So I've been learning that, like, now we own Sign of the Times, not the 11 disc box set version. So another thing that I've been finding, and this is amazing, and this I say to you almost regularly, I can find so much stuff locally now that like wasn't, people, I can't stand to this day on YouTube, like as this video is premiering, someone is putting up a video going, the vinyl resurgence, can it be sustained? There's no vinyl resurgence. It's back. It's been back for 15 years, but because of that, you and I will be in Target, and I'll go, do you know that I originally had to pay,
I remember. Yes. Yeah, I've been there for that.
$200 for that record, and I had to import it from, wherever and wait 4 weeks for it to get here. And now it's just sitting on the Target counter.
There it is.
But that's a great thing though.
Sure.
I mean, you can get into the whole argument of like, oh, well, the original pressing sounds right. I will take a $30 copy of Fuji's The Score, available anywhere, and not deal with paying $200 and waiting months and whatnot. So
I really like your impression of people that have a problem with the way things. I just like
I'll play it for you offline. It's an impression. It's an impression of Axl Rose doing an impression. That's how, on the Use Your Illusion tour, if he was ever talking like the general public, he'd go, people go, without Axl and Slash, you wouldn't have November Rain. And for some reason, I picked that up from him. I'll play the clip for you.
Delightful.
Yep.
See, okay,
yep.
go.
Another thing, and this is going to sound so dumb, but I don't feel like I need outer sleeves on everything. Inner sleeves, yes, because that's actually coming into contact with the actual record. For more on inner sleeves, listen to any video we've ever done on vinyl. But outer sleeves, I used to like sleeve up every single thing I could on the outer sleeves and whatnot. And I'm not saying, stomp on your album covers. I mean, we treat everything with respect, but, ring wear, which is what most people are trying to stop from having, using outer sleeves. That used to happen in the 70s, 60s, 70s, and 80s when people were taking like handful of records over to friends' houses and stuff. Like, the chances of you coming up with like super duper big scuffs and ring wear on a modern day vinyl collection is little to none. And I don't know why I never thought of that before I, sleeved up 1,500 records. And the other thing is like you always hear me say, you don't play the cover. Mm-hmm. So, you
don't.
So far, all of these are ones that are like revelations that I think you've seen me come across.
I've been around for all of them. I watched it all happen. It's been delightful.
Well, another one. Now, this one's actually kind of hard for me to deal with, and sometimes still I'm having a hard time with it. But I don't need the absolute best pressing of everything. There's some stuff like Pet Sounds. I will always want the Analog Productions, the Fleetwood Mac Rumors, and we actually don't even own it right now. But I will always want the Preston Palace 45 RPM version. But universally regarded the best pressing of the Wall is like the early or the late 79 Canadian pressing. And, the Wall is my favorite record of all time by anybody. But for as much as we listen to the Wall on vinyl, I don't need to have a $700 Canadian pressing of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or in anything else, like I'm trying to think like, for example, the Beatles. We have some great Beatles pressings, but far and away, the pressings owned by the Beatles are the ones in the mono box set. Well, I'm not spending $1,500 to get the mono box set. For as much as we listen to the Beatles, yep. I don't need, the things where I think, okay, I want to have the best of that. I mentioned Rumors. I mentioned Beach Boys. Like there's an Analog Productions of early Elvis hits that I want to get. These are things that you can still find at face value. They're in print. So I would be up for getting those. And they're some of my favorite artists of all time. The last thing, and this kind of ties into what I was just saying, but in a way it goes for other things as well, for more rare things. I can wait till I find the price that I want now. Like I used to pretty much just think of the one I can think of is Motley Crue, the self-titled album. They're never going to re-release that ever. Idiots. And back when I was collecting, I was like, nope, I want that on vinyl. I'm going to pay this price for it, period. Like the first one that I see, and now it's like, if I were to ever see a deal on that, fine. But if not, like again, for as much as we would listen to that record, so I know this has kind of been me like downloading and stuff. Like, what are your thoughts on what's been happening so far with us rebuilding a vinyl collection?
I was scared. I know the size of our house. I've seen your record collection from before.
Right.
And I said, we need room to live our lives. And so, no, basically, in all seriousness, I like that you definitely seem tempered. It seems more intentional than, just getting and having all this. Like what we have is stuff that either you love or I love or we both love, and we have it for like a very like a reason. It's not just having to have.
Yeah. For example, and I go back to the Prince or the Pink Floyd thing. Prince is probably the better example of the two because we own like 6 or 7 Prince records. I think there's like 2 or 3 more that I want to get that are like readily available, but those are albums that I love in their entirety. There's like another 30 Prince records that I'm not gonna buy. Yeah. Or the example of the Sign of the Times box set. Like we have Sign of the Times. When we listen to it, that's what we're gonna listen to. I would never go, hey, let's put on those 2 discs of the 12-inch singles from Sign of the Times that are only available in that box set.
Right, I mean? Totally.
Yeah. So those are things that I have been learning so far, and Lauren's been learning along with me. as we rebuild a vinyl collection. And I mean, we're up to a couple hundred records. And that's another thing too, is I don't know why, but at some point I got like fixated on the number when I was collecting, and I don't do that anymore and whatnot. So, but anyways, those are things that we are learning. So, like I say, if you are on the channel for vinyl and you didn't know we do other videos through the week, please hit the notification bell. Because we have videos every Sunday, Thursday, and Saturday. There's reaction videos every Saturday for you also. If you have any questions for us, either of us, like Lauren's fairly new to the vinyl collecting game still, or if you have questions for me regarding like my old collection or the new one, or any further thoughts or thoughts of your own, by all means, use the comment section. That's what we love to see. And as we always say, thank you so much for watching.